defensive mindset, but knowing that we were going to play against a good team, and very proud of the effort that they gave on the defensive end. And it was good to see Kendrick be very aggressive and get into his rhythm early. But the entire team, collectively, the way we played defense was a beautiful thing.
Raise your hands. We'll bring a mic around.
Hey, Kenny, what's the biggest difference between this game and the first two games you played on the road, other than defensively?
I think that's what it was, honestly. I think in Vandy, we were a little physical, but they still, we kind of shut them down. Just kind of glimpses. And St. Louis, we didn't do a great job until the last 4 minutes. And today, the game plan, they stuck to the game plan and did exactly what we needed to do to shut them down. That's the difference. So we're getting better every game.
Coach, how do you feel about the performance today by Keontae Kennedy?
Keontae's playing well. It's a new system for him. He's trying to find his footing, and he's knocking down some shots, 4 for 5 today in 20 minutes. It's just me just trying to find the guys, and Keontae actually played a good game today. He really did.
I'm just the formula that worked today. The really good defense, Kendrick, balanced scoring behind him. Is that kind of how you draw it up? Like that's how this team is a great team this year? What you saw tonight?
Yeah, that's what I was looking at when he first came aboard. That we would just have, he and DeAndre, would be the guys, and him being ultra aggressive because he's going to make the right play at all times. And that's how it's supposed to look. We know that teams are loading up on him, trying to get the ball out of his hands. So he has to be smart, but we also have to, get him in position to get shots up.
Penny, I know this thing's off. Penny, I know you've been giving us kind of updates on Kendrick Davis's health, 80%, 90%. At what point behind the scenes did you start looking like preseason All-American Kendrick Davis?
I think we saw glimpses of it tonight. This is the first game. He still has 2 bad sprains left, on his left, 2 bad sprains, and 1 on his right. So he's never going to be 100, but I can just tell he's getting his bounce back the way he's moving now.
Penny, was there a moment in the past week or even prior to that where you got him to buy into they can feed off the defense on the other end?
Yeah, it was after St. Louis because it's kind of embarrassing to give up 90 points. Defense has to travel, and that's what our identity has always been, is to play defense. And we mixed it up a little bit tonight. And the buy-in was after St. Louis because they knew that we didn't play the type of style defense that we know how to play.
Benny back here.
All right.
Yeah, just Alo had a couple hard falls there. Looked like he was a little sore on the bench. How's he feeling right now?
He's sore. He just can't catch a break. He plays hard. He dove on the floor and banged his knee up. And he still has the ankle thing going on. So with the games coming this week, 3 games in 3 days, we'll see how much time he can actually play.
Coach, speaking of Alo, his performance today and then St. Louis, do you kind of look at that and kind of just ride him and try to push him to get better, or do you sometimes think it's an adjustment period of time?
I think it's a little of both. I think you have to do both. You give your veterans the opportunity to affect the game, and he hasn't affected the game offensively, but he's affecting the game defensively and leadership. So I look at it overall, and but you have to do both. When guys are just not playing well overall, sometimes you shift the minutes, which is what you have to do because it's fair to everyone. If guys are playing well, and they deserve to play. So going to Orlando, we'll see how that works, especially with his health.
There was a sequence, Penny, where Kendrick dives on the floor, hits Chandler for the dunk, then he splits the defense, hits DeAndre. Is that, first of all, did you know he was like someone who was going to dive on the floor like that? And was that the sort of key sequence, or is that summarizing?
No, that just summarizes it. I do know that he has a huge heart, and he wants to win. And when that ball went on the floor, I knew he was going to hit the floor. Got it up and threw it to Chandler, and then coming back They like to show really hard on those pick and rolls, and he's so dynamic. He split the pick and roll and threw the lob to DeAndre. It's just, that's winning basketball, and that's what he's all about.
And did you have a set, like, number of points you wanted to hold VCU under, or like anything specific that you, goal-wise, to kind of like reset the system?
I didn't. I was more focused on just the shell of the defense, and I felt like if we did what we were supposed to do, that we would hold them to a low percentage. I used to put the point total on the board, like this is what we have to hold them to, and I have to get back to that. They used to be really big for me to do that because they get locked in on, hey, we can't let them get to this number. But now I was really working on the shell defense to try to get ready for Orlando.
And is there anything that worries you about having to play defense like that for so long and so much? Like, this team is older, a lot of them are dealing with injuries, that sort of thing. Like, is that part of why you didn't necessarily do it the first 2 games?
Yeah, I've been kind of trying to be calculated on when we do it. And tonight we did it probably 30% of the game. We showed trap a lot, and we got into a rhythm in the trap where we got turnovers and pushed the lead out. And then we went back to our base defense, because your base defense has to be solid. We can do the gimmicks and junk the game up, but at the end of the day, you got to get stops when you have to. You have to shrink the court. And yeah, with the banged up guys and the injuries, you don't want to keep running them and trapping the entire game.
Hey Penny, you changed, juggled the lineup. What was you looking to get out the new lineup, and what did you get out the new lineup?
I was looking, for Jay. Jay's been trying to get him shots. I know he can't stay out there long because of his breathing condition, but trying to get him some shots up. And with Chandler, we're just trying to get the energy, because Malcolm is still not fully well. He's on a minutes restriction. So when with Chandler's energy, he's our most vocal guy, and tried to go with energy. And what we got out of it was one of our best defensive games, for sure.
When you're talking about your base defense, like, what did you guys, would you say specifically, did better in this game defensively? Was it, communicating? Was it staying in front of your man? I'm sure it was a combination of things, but what did you see out there specifically that you saw different?
We communicated way better. We were understanding every scenario and every situation. We knew what was coming because we worked on it, and the guys were so alert on what was going on. We knew number 35 was their shooter, Schreiber, and we didn't let them get many shots up in their offense. Now, it got loose a couple times when we were pressing or trapping, but for the most part, the guys were locked in. That's what was different today.
Penny, it seemed like the pace Kendrick was going at in terms of scoring in that first half, that could have been sustainable. He could have gotten 40 if he wanted to. Was the decision for him to be more of a facilitator, was that y'all, or was that something he decided? How did that come about?
No, that probably was just him. We want him to continue to just be aggressive. Getting to the foul line, getting to the paint, making plays. If he gets 40, he gets 40. We're not trying to hold that back.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.